It usually goes really quickly. So get your notepads and pens out. Here is Randy Sproder. Okay, go take it away. Did I do?
Okay. So again, let me just describe to you first quickly what my mindset is. I always encourage people to listen to what I say, far more importantly, observe what I do, because what I do tells you the truth of what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. I'm hoping that the two always line up, that what I say and what I do always mesh together perfectly. But if they ever don't, then you've got to pay attention to what I do, because that will describe where my head and my heart is at that moment in time. And so, most important thing I can tell you all is that I've already set the ball in motion, but starting on Monday, Monday I have three business presentations, and they're not Zooms. Monday I have a 9 a.m. business presentation at a person's home in San Diego, and I've got one at 11 a.m. in San Diego, and I've got one at 2 p.m. in Dana Point, and I've got one at 4 p.m. in San Diego. Tuesday I have three business presentations. Wednesday I have three business presentations. Thursday I have three business presentations, and Friday I have one, and then I come back home. I would absolutely not be doing that if I didn't believe that I could bring people into a mechanism that they can make money at. There'd be absolutely no reason for me to do that. And so my belief is that the Finmore offering as we speak is an offering that people are going to make money at. Is it a different offering than what we first said yes to when we said yes to Transact Card? It's different. But on a daily basis, it gets closer to being everything that I ever thought that it would be. And in many respects is today more than I hoped it would become. That's the truth. It's really, really easy for, including me, it's really easy for people to look at the number of missed deadlines, missed timelines, all those kinds of things and say, oh my gosh, what kind of a rat's nest is this? The truth is that if we look at the decisions that have been made since the 20th about of November, this company's made a lot of very, very good decisions. And I'm unable to find fault with decisions made since the November convention, except with the continued over optimism about various timelines. I'm frustrated with that still, and I believe that we're getting close to where we won't have to deal with that anymore. Very specifically, I was asked to be on this session tonight so that everybody could understand the value proposition that is part of the Flourish program. So I can talk about anything you guys would like me to talk about, but specifically when Candace and I were speaking the other day, she told me of a general lack of enthusiasm about the Finmore offering, excuse me, about the Flourish offering. And that's okay with me. The truth is the truth, whatever the truth is, because that can be measured and it can then be dealt with and improved upon. And so let's all stop. I don't remember what the day is that each of us got involved. But Candace, I remember the first conversation that I had with you, and I'm guessing it was probably in July. I don't know. What was the date of your enrollment? Do you remember?
I think it was more like October,
October, was that far down the road? Okay.
September, October time frame. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So when Pastor Candace enrolled, she clicked on a link. Whether or not you remember, when I enrolled, I clicked on a link, and that link said that starting in November, I would start paying $150 per month for a marketing and technology fee. Marketing and technology. And what would I get for that marketing and technology? I would get access to the technology. I would get a website. I would get the ability to receive commissions. But what would I receive that would be tangible? Nothing, absolutely nothing. I would have access to the marketing and technology, but the absolute truth is that at TCM, who spent 25 bucks, they also have access to the marketing and technology. And so what I said yes to, and the entire first wave of people said yes to starting to get charged $150 per month, starting in November for that marketing and technology fee. Now, I knew from the very first day, if you were to go back and review my trainings and my teachings about this company, about its predecessor company, Transact Card, from the first day, what I described was the biggest challenge that leadership would face in the future with this company. That challenge, in my view, was this. So I've been the master distributor for the last long time and will be for a company that sells cannabis products, non-psychoactive cannabis, CBD. And so now, Candace, imagine for a moment that you're using my cannabis product and that the product is helping you. Maybe it's helping you because you have better sleep. Maybe it's helping because you have better digestion. Maybe it's helping because you have reduced anxiety. Maybe it's more serious than that. Maybe it helps you deal with the effects of chemotherapy, whatever. You're getting value from it. If you're getting value from the product and you're not making money, then isn't it true the value of the product is likely to cause you to keep your credit card on file to receive the product? Because the product is doing something for you, even if you're not making money. So if you go back and listen to my early trainings, those trainings said this: the leadership challenge in Transact Card. Now, Finmo, the leadership challenge would be this: creating a permanent or stable maintenance, because Candace, you've been around network marketing. You know that people in your 5LINKs business and anything else you ever did, they put their credit card on file to receive a product or service month after month after month after month after month. Well, in the case of our company, if a person is not a manager or higher, they're not earning money and they're not using the technology. So there would be absolutely no reason for someone who's not yet a manager to pay that ongoing monthly maintenance fee. None. And I could not tell somebody in good faith, hey, Candace, I think you should spend this, in my case, $150 a month, month after month, when you're not receiving anything tangible for it in return. Okay? So time went on. By the time we got to the date of your enrollment, there'd been enough feedback. It's going to get hard to find a value. People are not going to pay $150 a month, month after month after month, just to stay involved. Recognizing that only about 1/3 of all people who enroll are ever going to become managers. Now, with me, what you get is the truth. That's the truth. And I'm not going to pretend that everyone who enrolls is going to grow in the comp plan. That's not reality. That's not human nature. And so that means that I've always known that I would have a problem with 2/3 of the people who join, because I couldn't in good faith tell them, keep spending 150, or then by the time you got there, Candace, people had said, oh my gosh, 150 is too much. They lowered it to 50. I couldn't tell you, if you're not making money at this and you've been in your 4th, your 5th month, keep that credit card on file and keep paying $50 a month for air. That's not in me. That's not in me. And so I've known the whole time that I would have a churn where I was going to have to be replacing all of those 2/3 of people who don't become managers. Because if you don't become a manager in this company and you're paying $50 a month maintenance, you should simply backtrack and be a TCM. Now we call it an FM. Why pay a marketing and maintenance fee if you're not receiving a check? And the reality is that company-wide, 27% of people become managers. In my organization, 36% of people become managers. But that means that 2/3 of people would be asked to pay a maintenance fee and they're not making money. It's not going to work. Just the truth, it's not going to work. And so the biggest challenge, and why I was looking for a consumable product that I can introduce, I was looking at all kinds of different solutions, because I've known from the day I said yes that I'd have to create a solution that would cause a person to become permanent with their maintenance if they weren't making any money. Well, that's what they did with Flourish. I wish it had been on my idea, but it wasn't. And so in my case, Candace, I have maybe I've shared this with you, maybe I've not. My mother is completely blind. She lost her vision entirely due to an eye disease called glaucoma. That is a genetic condition. I have glaucoma. And I'm 67 years old. We can now look at the actuarial charts, and one can very, very accurately project that short of an accident, I could get in an accident today. I could stumble walking up the stairs and hit my head and die today, right? We all know that the bell could ring today. But short of an accident, one can project my lifespan. I'm a 67-year-old male. I'm physically fit. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I exercise, blah, 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 blah. We can project how long I will live. We can also look at the amount of nerve damage that I have in my left eye, and we can project easily that I will live longer than I have vision in my left eye. It's the truth. Right? Now, thank God, we can look at my right eye and we can see that there's nerve damage, but no loss of sight yet. And we can see that it probably will intersect, that I probably will have sight about as long as I live in this eye. And I will not have sight in this eye in all likelihood the last decade that I live. All right. So I use medications to try to deal with that. Many people in America use medications to deal with something, right? My medication for my glaucoma, after my insurance, my copay is $46 a month.
Mm-hmm.
The medical bundle that I will buy in the Flourish program is $50 a month. Mm-hmm. And the prescription that I use for my glaucoma is included in the free medicines. And so that's incredibly better, isn't it, Candace? Instead of paying $50 for air, I am trading spending. I was spending $46 as my copay every single month, and I would spend that for the rest of my life to preserve my vision and slow the loss. Mm-hmm. So now, instead of spending $50 for a marketing and technology fee, I'm spending $50 for a prescription bundle. That's better, isn't it? One can't
much
argue
better. Is that the complete bundle? Because it's either 50 or 60, right, or something like that.
That's right. It's $50 is the bundle that I will need. What I will need is $50, and so what that means is that I will have a $4 actual cost. Except Samantha also uses medication. Samantha has I don't describe her personal issues, but Samantha has a condition that she also has to use medication for. And it's not a life-threatening condition, but it's a chronic condition. It's a condition she will have her entire life. She will always use medication. Her medication is also included in the bundle. And so in our case, very specifically in our case, between the $46 that we've been spending for my medicine and the $25 we've been spending for Samantha's medicine, now to buy the bundle instead, which qualifies in the compensation plan. Our actual cost goes down, not up. And so if one understands that, there's nothing but good to be said about it. I mean, there's absolutely nothing but good to be said about what I just described. My belief is that if all of you look, it will be that more than 3/4, more than 75% of all people in America will find that whatever their cost is for Flourish is transfer spending. They're already spending that money on something in their lives. They're already spending money on prescriptions. They're already spending money on doctors. They're already spending money on. They're probably not spending money, though they may be. They may also be spending money on the soft skills thing. You know, people why do they go to an Anthony Robbins seminar? Well, they go there to develop soft skills.
Right.
Why do they do all these things? That's to develop soft skills. And so, yes, people are already spending money on them. I'm not, but many people are. If you don't have to wonder if they are, take a look at Anthony Robbins' website and tell me how many people do spend money.
There's a lot of people that do that.
It's huge.
So, I mean, just for the people that are on, this is something like you just explained that you need, but also this, since it's business, it's part of your business now, that's also a tax write-off, is what I'm thinking. With the soft skills and all that, that's a tax write-off. Plus, it's you're learning about your business while you have these products so that you can present it to other people. So that's also a tax write-off.
100%. It's a tax benefit. But even if we just break it down to its very most basic thing, this is my opinion, 3/4, 75% of all people will find out they're already spending that money. And now they simply are going to spend it with us instead of spending it someplace else. They're simply transferring the place they're spending it, and it makes qualification free. And so there is no getting around. In my mind, I understand confusion, a lack of clarity creates no commitment and it creates no activity. But if one comes to understand this, there is not a negative to find in it. You cannot find a negative. We went from spending $50 a month for nothing to spending $50 a month for something. We can't argue whether that's good or bad. And if you spent the $50 for marketing and technology, what would be the commission you would earn as a result of that? If your whole group spent $50 for marketing and technology, what would you Candace earn? Zero. This $50 is commissionable. And so it's transfer buying. Instead of me spending my money at Walgreens, now I'm getting my prescriptions without spending the money at Walgreens. I'm transferring buying. As you referenced, it is tax deductible. And when people in my group do likewise, I get paid commissions. If people in my group go to Walgreens to buy their medications, I don't get paid commissions. If people go to the Anthony Robbins seminar, I don't get paid commissions. And so I'm unable to come up with a single reason to be anything but enthusiastic and, in fact, excited about the Flourish program. It's a great idea. It's an idea that I wish I had had. And now it becomes a reality starting very, very soon.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you have any more information on when it's starting?
You know, because I've repeated too many dates that wound up not getting hit, I'm very concerned about doing that. But I believe, this is what I believe, it's not what I know. I believe that by the end of March, we will be registering people for Flourish. And so we'll begin receiving our first commissions from the Flourish program on April 15th. I don't see any reason for that not to occur. It was decided, a conscious decision was made, and it was the right decision. There's an absolute groundswell. I mean, a groundswell of people who have, they're at the end of their patience line with the store. They want to get in the store. And so until about 3 weeks ago, the intention was to roll out Flourish first because Flourish is commissionable and would directly impact monthly checks. When we turn on the store, that would indirectly impact checks, right? Because if a person goes to the store, you don't get a commission because they went there and bought something. It would indirectly.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Now, it would indirectly impact checks because they're out there, you know, recruiting people and doing all those things. But if they make a buy in the store, it doesn't result in a check coming into your hand. And so the great urgency that I have had has been, I want you focusing, talking to the company, I want you focusing on the things that will cause people to get a commission check at the soonest date. And so the groundswell, but you know, I listen to the
store. The store does give them the fin credits, correct?
Well, the store gives you fin credits, but it doesn't give you cash, right? What I'm concerned about
except the 30 cents.
people need to pay the bills, right? I mean,
right, and that's one of the questions we had. We'll get to those later, but yeah, I'm glad that you're going over this. Anybody have any? Are you going to take questions now or later?
Anyway, I see Richard Vaughn's got his hand up, and so let's
Yes.
answer Richard's question. Richard, you can you're not muted. You can turn on your mic if you want. Your mic, it looks like, is on. You can turn on your video if you want, but ask any question. Any question's okay with me.
Hey Randy, how you doing?
So great, thank you.
I can relate to you because I do have diabetic retinopathy, and
Okay.
it's just every day just trying to go to the doctor, take my medicine, and be able to see again. See,
I know it's a really important thing, isn't it?
right? Yeah, it's more important than you think.
And
Well,
until
for
it's at
instance,
risk, it's always the way.
yeah,
Until we're at risk of
right,
losing it, we don't appreciate it.
exactly. So, one question that I have is Flourish is basically is a type of service that you're offering. Can you go into more detail as to exactly what this is? Because I'm thinking that we're starting Finmore, and I'd like to know where we are on Finmore, and also a little bit more about Flourish and what it's projected to do.
Okay, so I'll describe to you first of all where we are with Finmore. I'll try to address that. Again, my opinion is evidenced by the schedule I described to you for next week. My opinion is that where are we with Finmore? We're eligible and capable and able to conduct business in an effective manner. The store is now scheduled to be open in 2 weeks, March 15th, and I believe that's a date that is going to get met. Of course, it might not, but I believe that date is going to get met. The store will be properly populated. Now, I want to caution you all. It's not going to have a huge number of items, but it is going to have enough items with a great enough value proposition that when a person begins receiving, or when a person looks at their ledger and they see the fin credits they have, then when they look at the store, they will find value. I'm very, very certain of that starting on the 15th of March. I'm very certain of that.
Did they send you all as the leadership council, and were you able to look inside of the store yet?
I have. All of the leadership council has not. And the reason that I have, Candace, is because I'm bringing vendors to the store. And so that results in me having Zooms with the company and with vendors. And so I have seen it not because I'm a part of the leadership council, but I have seen it because I'm bringing vendors and the vendor wants to see who's going to be there. So it's a different kind of conversation. The company very, very, very much wants it to be a surprise. And, even though it's been very frustrating, they want people to become excited. And I believe that their strategy is okay. I'm not sure if I do it that way or not. But yes, I have seen.
Yeah, I just thinking demographically, to get people of different cultures excited, it has to be certain things in there.
Yeah,
Really,
I'm aware.
honestly.
I'm aware, and we've
Yeah.
talked about it. I'm aware, and we've talked about it. We're not blind to it, and I think you're gonna be okay. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
All
Okay.
right.
And so now I shouldn't say any one part of it is more important, but Richard, the best litmus test that I can give you right now, the shift that has happened, is that starting on September 24th, no one who enrolled from actually about 10 days before that, no one who enrolled from about the 14th of September until today has ever had the experience of having a Transact card in their hand and swiping it. They haven't. I mean, Pastor Candace, I doubt if you've ever experienced that. Okay.
Nope.
So you haven't experienced it. What is happening right now with the All Cards program is eerily reminiscent of what was happening when I first got to the company and I saw what was going on with the little green card. People get the card and they swipe it and they run home to see what their fin credits are. I mean, it is an absolute fascination to me. They use the card once or twice, they see the fin credits load up, and then they register all the rest of their cards on it. And I mean, literally today, just like when you were looking at Pastor Candace's account a couple of moments ago, it said that her Cash App had not processed correctly. That's what that warning flag was. So it's going to make you go in there and redo it. Okay, so when I linked my American Express to it, that same thing occurred. I didn't know it. I didn't realize it. This morning, when I just looked to see how many fin credits had shown up there, I had that same warning there that the registration hadn't worked with the American Express. And so today, without even, I mean, it just happened. It wasn't a conscious thing. It wasn't because I was involved in the business. But guess how many times I swiped that American Express today? 0, because it doesn't get me fin credits. And so instead, I took a different card out and swiped it. People change their buying behaviors because of this. It is absolutely, and I'm careful the way I use the word addictive, because addictive is a negative thing. Addiction has been a very negative part of my life. But if there is such a thing as a positive use of the word addiction, this would be the positive word. It's exciting. It gamifies it. People love it. And it has begun happening again. So I can
Gamify, that's a good word.
the single biggest reason, the single biggest reason that the boat is turning right now is because people are again swiping a card. They're not swiping the Transact card. But what did we bargain for? We bargained for the opportunity to swipe a card and to get more buying power. Right now, you can swipe a card and get more buying power. What was the next thing that we bargained for the very first day? That we would be able to use that buying power in a properly populated e-commerce site. I promise you that this is me now promising you, it's not the company. You will all be, if not thrilled, satisfied with the site when it opens, and that will be in this month.
When I was meeting with John McKillop, he mentioned that there is going to be some opportunity for us as representatives to bring our products to the store if we have something viable that can be, managed and maintained correctly. So that's awesome. That is like that's huge.
Well, let me share with you, Candace. I mean, from the 24th or whatever, I guess the 16th, whatever the day was, we left Las Vegas. It was clear that there was a problem. Right? And so I've invested way more of my time from Las Vegas until now helping the company overcome its problem than I have trying to build a business. But you see, that's changing now. Monday, my activities are not about helping the company solve its problems. Monday, I am back to building the business.
Okay.
That should say every single thing that you need to know about what do I believe. If I didn't believe that the rocks had been removed from the runway and that the people I bring into the business now are going to be happy, not upset, then I would be working on Monday, not doing 4 business presentations Monday, but I would be continuing to do that, which I think has to be done to make the skeletal structure correct. So, I mean, I can tell you that I've had Zoom calls with CEOs of very, very, very large companies. And there's one that I believe we'll finish it on Monday. And you know what, we might not. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe something will jump up and bite me that I don't see coming. But I would venture a guess that all of you have played the board game Monopoly sometime in your life. All these, as long as it's been around.
Every Christmas.
Monopoly remains the #1 selling board game in America. The company that sells Monopoly sells 3 of the 4 biggest selling board games. And we are literally at the final edge of signing the document to bring that company into our store. And that's just one simple little example, but that's one that I did, right? And so if you have a relationship like that, and by the way, I did that not because I would make any money on it. I did it because the store needs to get populated. Mm-hmm. But what have I done? I've built a little spread into that for myself. You're going to buy the board game Monopoly if you do from the Fin Market. And when you do that, it'll cost you less than if you buy it downtown or buy it anyplace else. It'll cost you less than if you go to Parker Brothers' website. And every time somebody plays that Monopoly game, I'll make a penny or two. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah, I think that's great. And it's another stream of opportunity in this same company. There are 2 people with their hands up. Did you want to take their questions?
I'm leaving it to you, Candace. You're in charge here, not me. First of all, okay. I don't know. I don't think that we got Richard's question answered. So let me do that, okay? Before we move on to somebody else. So then Richard asked very specifically, he said, what exactly is the Flourish? So Richard, Flourish is they are a vendor. Okay, Flourish is not something that we came up with. Flourish is a vendor. Flourish is a company like MedMD, or there's like countless companies that provide this service. You can buy this service outside of our company. If you buy this service outside of our company, it costs you 35% more than if you buy it from our company. Now, this is a company offering these products and services, and it's being used by multiple corporations as part of their overall health and wellness routine, part of their employee retention program, its employee benefit. This is a good company, and this is not something that we dreamed up. This is something that exists out there, and there's a market for it. One can participate at 3 different levels, with the essential or with the advanced or complete, and all that it amounts to. If you come over here, you get a little bit more. You get a little bit more with each one of these things. What exactly can one do in Flourish? There is the Flourish Academy. This is all focused on soft skills. This is not an area where I spend money. I don't spend money at this. But once again, do you want to know, do people spend money on this kind of thing? Well, does Anthony Robbins have a great big business? Yeah. Do all the TED Talk people have a great big business? Did Earl Nightingale have a great big business? Did Shoaff had a big business? What about our our friend that I've always listened to. My gosh, I've got total brain fade. Anyway, there's long been a business
Oh,
in
I know who you're talking about.
there has long been a business in personal growth and development, right? And so the question is, could we provide that service to people where they don't get abused? This is my own opinion, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody when I say it, but do you know what happens when you go to Anthony Robbins Island? You know what happens, Candace?
Yeah, you pay a lot of money.
$25,000. $25,000 stops being yours and starts being Anthony Robbins. That's
Right,
what
yeah.
happens when you go to that
Yep.
island. And you come home off the island a week later, and all the excitement and the thrill and all of that, it just went away. And $25,000 is no longer yours, and it's now Tony's. And I say that, and I've told Tony that, but that's true. And so, D.L. Wallace, and by the way, I'm very, very aware of our need to be culturally broad. And this was not a, it was not a, it's not happenstance that one of the biggest faces in Flourish happens to be an African American. I mean, that's, we there could have been many, many, many other choices. That was a very conscious choice. Why? Because there was an African American person who had the necessary talents and background and skills, and we felt like that would be a really, really good thing to be a part of our mechanism. So the Flourish Academy, when you mentioned, Candace, that our store needs to be such that it fits various cultures, I think that it's also true that our leadership and our entire message has to be such that it fits all cultures. And,
Right.
and so
And I know that's not up to you. I just know that when you posted the picture, I got a couple calls. Like people were like, I didn't see not one Black person in that picture for the Leadership Council. So I did call you, and when you spoke about the reasons why. So, but it still is an issue. I mean, it's people, that's what they look at. I think all people look at that in some way,
And you know
if
what?
they don't see themselves represented. Yeah.
I completely get it. So let's just address that right up front. One of you folks become a vice president, and you'll be on the council.
Yeah. I was thinking they should. I mean, if he really became that, why can't he appoint someone in his place? Maybe, I don't know, because it is affecting people's a little bit. Not I don't know how much, but it is.
Here's the solution, Candace. Let me help you become an African American vice president.
All right, let's do it.
There's no one on the council that's not a vice president, so it can't happen. There is only one African American vice president or higher in the company. He's a friend of mine. He has major personal legal challenges right now and cannot be visible in our company. Once those problems are resolved, and I have compassion for he and his family, I wish it wasn't happening, but it is, and we couldn't do it. It would not be to our benefit. And so I promise you, folks, the very second one of you please become my first African American executive, and I guarantee you that I won't let a week go by before you're on the council. Okay, so anyway, it's as important to me as it is to you.
Yeah.
In the Flourish program, you've heard me talk a lot about the fact that America is a borrow-spend society, and that is true, but it's not equally true in all parts of society. Latinos in America, for example, have, as a percentage of household debt, much smaller. Much smaller. There are some segments of our society who are much more deeply in debt. 61% of all Americans have credit card debt. It's way more than 61% of all African Americans have credit card debt. When you talk about doing something that can help, you will help an entire segment of society if that segment of society uses the financial product, the Flourish Decision Maker. This is all about helping people manage their budgets. It's about learning the difference in investing and speculating and helping people have a plan with their money. People have heard me teach forever that having less financial pressure does not absolutely require that you make more money, but it does require that you start making different decisions about the money that you already have.
Great.
This particular program is something that I endorse completely and absolutely. For the last long time in my life, I've asked that everybody who's in association with me read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, because it teaches many of the very same basic financial principles that are being taught here. And so once again, if you select this as part of the bundle, then would you or would you rather not? Would you rather spend $50 for air, or would you rather spend $50 and get prescription coverage? And what if, in addition to your prescription coverage, without spending anything else, you were able to take care of your household budget? You see, there isn't any question about whether this is better. And so it's prescription. It is telemedicine. Telemedicine being what? Meaning that you've got 24/7 access to a physician that you can call on the phone, to a specific
convenience. That's convenience.
To a specific physician that is yours, that knows your case. Again, I can't find a single reason to find fault with the program that is being offered because it is very good. And simply helping people track their finances, understand where their money is going. And if you look at all of the various credit improvement tools, people spend a fortune because their finances are out of control. And so is it or is it not a good and a viable thing that we are helping people take control of their finances, the money they already have, in addition to helping them have more money? And once again, look at it just exactly from this standpoint. Would you rather spend $50 for air, or would you rather spend $50 and get an ability to make the money you've got be more properly managed because you're learning? Again, I think it is a complete, absolute win.
Yeah. So that's a part of the bundle is basically what you're saying.
That is correct. And
$50 bundle. Yes.
And so if one does the very most basic, that's $50. And what does one get? The Flourish Health and Wellness Essential. As a result of Flourish Health and Wellness Essential, my own family will have a reduced cost. And by the way, that reduced cost, Candace, would be even if I were not a founder. And as a founder, I'm only spending $2.95 a month, and I'm spending, or $2.50 a month, and I'm spending $24.95 to enroll. So the very first month, I'm cash flow positive. The first month, I'm cash flow positive. And every month after that,
I didn't understand that. You said you spent the first month. I didn't spend anything. I just joined. I didn't have to spend $25 that I know of.
Well, you haven't bought Flourish yet. If you choose to buy, choose to buy Flourish, then because you're a founder, you'll spend $25. If you weren't a founder, you'd spend $50 one time, and then you'll spend $2.50 per month. And so my very first month
for Flourish, I thought it was $2.50 a month. I'm totally. I thought it was $50 a month.
Oh my gosh! Oh, excuse me. I just got myself confused with all cards. I just got myself completely confused with all cards.
I was going to say that's great,
but got myself confused with all cards. You're right. And so the reason that I'm cash flow positive is simply because of my reduced cost on prescriptions, on those two prescriptions. That makes me cash flow positive. Okay.
Right.
But once again, so just a simple thing. Look at this essential bundle. For $50, we get Health and Wellness Essential. We get the Academy. This is D.L. Wallace. He is a brilliant man. He's a brilliant man. He's a very gifted speaker.
Gotcha.
His programs are good. Flourish Decision Maker. This decision maker is what? That is the financial part that I just showed you. And you get the all cards. All of that is included. So would you rather get that?
So I got all cards. So I really didn't have. So once I get Flourish, I can cancel my all cards because I already get it.
That is correct.
Okay, got you. That's good to know.
That is correct. And so again, would you rather have all of this stuff for $50, or would you, and that qualifies you in the comp plan, or would you rather pay $50?
I think I need the $60 one though, because, or I'm not sure if I need the 90. This screen, this is the slide that confuses me because the complete one has the pharmacy on it. When you was on that other slide, I think the complete, no, not that slide, the one down 2 slides. When you were on that slide, if you go down 2 more, the one with the check marks, the slide with the check marks.
Yep.
Is this the one? Well, the one that had the pharmacy, the one that you showed when you first came in here, it was like all of what Flourish is. Then it had all the check marks. I'm sorry, you probably have to go up, not down. That's the one. Okay, you see at the bottom, it says My Free Pharmacy Program. That's for the complete. So that would be $90, but unless it's a part of the bundle. Now, I know this is not the bundle.
That is correct.
If it's a part of the bundle, that would be huge. Yeah.
That is correct. You're exactly right. If you're buying it not as part of the bundle, then that's right. It'd be $90 a month. And what is the company doing, by the way? They're basically replacing the fact that every direct selling company for the last 50 or 100 years has had about a $110 per month or 110 volume point per month maintenance requirement because that's what funds the company's cash flow. And so in this case, because there's not a tangible, consumable, physical product that a person is consuming and receiving, in order for the company to be viable, there must be something that causes that long-term ongoing cash flow. And so anyone who's involved in this business, anyone who is doing this to make money, should be looking at this and saying, well, of course, that makes sense. There has to be a reason for people to spend money. They're not going to spend $50 month after month after month for marketing and maintenance. Right. But if we can cause them to have a value that replaces money they're already spending, then that makes a whole bunch of sense. And it makes a whole lot more sense than any ideas that I had come up with at that point in time. And so
I mentioned this to Bill, not Bill, I'm still saying Bill, John McKillop. I mentioned that to him, that the pharmacy needs to go along with the telemedicine. If that's a part of the bundle, I mean, even the immigrants coming in will want that. I mean, everybody
Everybody.
will want that,
Literally everybody. Right. Literally everybody. And by the way, literally everybody. It's not everybody that wants a CBD product. It's not. It's 15% of society. But everybody wants, needs, and uses the types of services that are being offered by Flourish. So I was specifically asked first if I'd come in and talk about the Flourish program. I want you to know that I am unabashedly and incredibly enthusiastic about it because it's replacing nothing. We're getting something and it's replacing nothing. Therefore, there can be only enthusiasm for that. We should all be doing backflips up and down the street because instead of having the leadership challenge 6 months from now of trying to hold people together who are not yet managers, trying to find a rationale for them to spend $50 more when they're not making any money, it's not in my heart to do that. But it's it's absolutely in my heart to say, you know what, I can show you how to make the money you've already got go further. I can show you how to do that because you can start swiping the card that's included in this bundle price. I can show you how to do that because you get to replace some of the spending that you have. And this is commissionable. When people are using this program, you're getting paid for it. Every single thing about that is good when it's compared to people spending $50 for marketing and maintenance fee, getting nothing tangible in return, and it not being commissionable. So this for me is a win cubed.
And I know they're working out the comp plan. I know you're going to have to go soon. So I don't know if you have to go soon or not, but someone else just joined and a couple of people still have their hand up. But I just want to say before we end this, I did want to speak a little bit about swiping on every debit card that's coming soon, because I know that will bring our income up to even unlimited status if we, teach the right or people learn the right habits and spending.
Every single thing that anyone ever bargained for is still available. The timing has changed a little bit because we didn't start out. When I enrolled, there was no, quote, community bonus pool. It didn't exist. By the time I met you, Candace, the community bonus pool had been dreamed up, and people were being told, unfortunately, that by gathering together just a small group of accounts, that you'd be able to access this bonus pool and make a lot of money fast without having built a real big organization.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, what sounded too good to be true was, that's the truth, that was. But for you being everybody on this session, it remains the truth. You see, it's been changed. It's no longer called the community bonus pool. It's called the founders bonus pool. Why?
Okay.
Because being the community bonus pool, that meant that more and more and more people could always get in it. Therefore, it would be always forever diluted. I mean, just imagine for a moment. I don't know you, Cheryl, but just common sense. If you can spend $18,000 to go and buy 39 accounts, you spend $18,000 once, and that qualifies you for a bonus pool that pays you $150,000 a year. Isn't it true that always and forever people will figure out a way to get the 18 grand, right? And so that means that always and forever there'll be more people coming into the pool, more people coming into the pool.
Right.
When they come into the pool, they're not producing anything close to what they're taking out. And so the ultimate value of the pool would be less and less and less and less. That's the truth. That's where we were heading. And so by restricting it to only founders, now we know this total number of people who can ever be in it. No new people.
The founders, but they can't get paid unless they get qualified, meaning at least this $50 bundle, correct?
Okay, let me finish my thought, okay, because you'll lose me, okay?
Okay, sorry. I was just mentioning that because everybody on here are founders, and I just wanted to tie that into what you were just talking about.
Okay, so the way that it works now is, remember, we know the total number of people who can ever be in the pool. There are right now 110,000 people who have enrolled in Transact Card Finmo, 110,000. Out of that 110,000, 60%, a little more than 60%, are just card members. There's no reason for any of them to quit. They won't quit. There's no reason for them to. They're all here. The card will come out. They have no maintenance fee. So if it takes another 3 months, so what? The card will come, and when it comes, they're fine. So all those people are here. But of the people who joined as DBOs, I think that the illustration I've used for a long time is if we put a pot of water on the stove and we boil it, if we leave the water on high too long and the pot overboils, if we leave it on there long enough, it'll boil to where there's nothing left in the pot. If we take it off in a few minutes, there'll be about half of the water left. Well, what occurred in October and November is the pot boiled. I mean, it was an artificial frenzy. People rushing out there trying to find a friend that had $18,000 and having them buy 18 accounts. And, that was happening. And so that created an artificial wave of enrollments.
Mm.
pot off the
I didn't
water.
know that happened.
Okay? So you pull the pot off of the stove, which
Uh-huh.
is what we did, pulled the pot off of the stove, and now the water level goes down.
Mhm.
So there aren't 50,000 DBOs. That's not the truth. Because there's probably, my guess is that 30%, 40% disappear. That's my guess. So let's
Mhm.
just call it 30%. So instead
Mhm.
of 50,000 DBOs, what do we have? Maybe 35,000, maybe 15,000 go away. And out of those 35,000, we know that 1/3 are going to become managers. And so that means that we have not 35,000, we have 11,000. That's about the total number of people who will ever be in that pool. We know the number. And so now you see the value you get out of the pool will go up much more quickly. Once again, it's been a very logical, and I understand that I'm human too. Humankind, we get so much negative. There is so much negative in our world that it's sort of natural for humankind to veer to the negative. As soon as something doesn't go the way that we want, our eye gets diverted to the negative. And people's eyes in this company have diverted to, oh my gosh, that's not what I hoped for. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. If people's eyes would get diverted to the positive instead, well, how positive is it that it costs $250 instead of $495? I think that's a pretty good thing. I think
Yeah,
that
I think we
helps.
need to say 250 because I just got shocked with, I was like, it's 199, and then I read it through and I was like, oh no, it's when you add the bundle,
Yeah.
it's really 250.
It's 250. That's right. But can we enroll more people at 250 than at 500? Well, yeah, I think so. And so the
Yeah,
eye has
absolutely.
diverted to that which is more difficult that we could look and say, well, but it's 250. That's better. And by the way, before, if you enrolled at 495 and you enrolled three people at 495, what did you do? You got $50.
495.
Well, but now, yeah, 495, that is correct. But when they enrolled three, you got $50, right? So
Right.
they
Yeah,
enrolled
right,
three.
exactly.
That means they did $1,500.
Right,
Got you $50.
right.
Now, if they enroll three, that's $600 and you get 30. So when they do $1,200 in business, you get $60. They used to have to do $1,500 in business to get you 50. So it's getting
Okay,
60.
wow. Okay, you're gonna have to show me the math on that one day. Yeah, that so you
I'll show you right
actually
now,
get
Candace. I'll
more.
show you right now.
Okay.
If you are a manager in the old method, you
Hmm.
enroll Randy, Samantha, and Bosco. Okay, I'm
Hmm.
sorry. You enroll Randy, Samantha, and Bosco, you get your $500 back. Okay. Now,
Right.
if any one of these three become a manager in the old program, you would get what? $50.
$50, yes.
For them to enroll three, they would have 495, 495, 495. So they would have $1,500 worth of
Hmm.
business would get you 50. Now, 200, 200, 200 gets you 30. It does because they don't have to do
Does
250.
it get you 90 though? Because it's 30 each if they became
No,
manager?
no, each one gets you 30, just like each one who gets three gets you $30. It used to be that each one who gets three gets you 50, but it used to take three
Okay,
times
okay, okay, okay. I'm
95
with
to
you.
get
I'm
you
with you.
50. Now it takes three times 200 to get you 30. So
Okay.
$1,200 in revenue makes you $60 now, where before it took $1,500 in revenue to get you $50. So
Okay.
once again,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
default has been for our eye to turn to that which is more challenging. I
Hmm.
promise you, if
I
instead,
have the board for you right here.
if you will divert your
You
gaze to that which is positive, there is an awful lot that is positive, like an
Yeah.
awful lot. Um,
Okay. So
until
this
until
is
a few
$60.
until a few weeks ago, until a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
if a person enrolled in our company, they would click on a button that said they were paying $50 a month for nothing going forward. That's no longer true. That is clearly better. It's not like it's a little bit better, it's dramatically better.
Yeah, it is.
And we now have a mechanism where I believe that the enrollment flow, once people understand it, will. I'm not looking for another one of those straight up parabolic shifts that is based on hype. But the fact that it now costs half as much to enroll, given the financial constraints in America, I believe that we'll have a much more rapid flow of new member applications over a period
Right.
of time. And
Right.
that will
Yeah.
produce a greater flow of income.
I believe that too.
Then we can take it our next step. We've been frustrated with the e-commerce site. It'll only take a couple of more weeks, and that frustration is going to go away. It really is.
Okay, so
Uh,
this is $90 you get because they all got three, and then you get a 30 right here. So that's 120. Okay.
okay, so the bottom line to it is
That's more.
that today you get paid more money for doing the same amount of revenue than you used to get. That's what happened.
Hmm.
It's more. It's not less. It's more. So we're not being asked to pay maintenance for air. We're getting paid more if we produce. It used to be that 61% of people in America don't use debit cards. They have to use credit cards. If you have 61% have credit card debt. And so, Cheryl, if you're among the unfortunates, I'm hoping you're not, but if you've got credit card debt, then what you do not do is put cash in the bank and use a debit card because you're paying 27% interest on the credit card. So instead, you pay down as much of the credit card as you can, and you then leverage it up and wait until your next paycheck. That is the life experience of 61% of people in our country today. That 61% would not use a Finmore debit card. We had a 39% of the total market possibility with the debit card. Now we have that 61% that we did not have access to before. And so even that, would you rather have access to 31% or would you rather have access to 60%? I mean, piece by piece by piece, you tell me the problem and I can show you the way the company has solved it, and it is better. That's why I am back building the business. The meat can now be put on the bones. The skeletal structure needed to be corrected. In my estimation, the skeletal structure has one remaining piece to be correct, and that is the introduction of the store. It does not alarm me. It doesn't matter to me how many days, weeks, or months it takes to get the debit card. We're going to get it.
Oh, I've never seen this slide. This is what was going to be my question. Can they put that back on a slide so we can, because
There.
the proposition that you give, the value proposition, some people, they're not thinking about having a store or getting the other great benefits, but something that, even though, I know that you can make more money on all the other things, but that card represents something that those other things don't
100%.
represent.
The card is why I got involved first.
Yeah, because it's residual income all night, 24/7, while people are using.
I want to make money when people buy sparkling water. I want to make it when they buy gas. I want to pay it when they pay their kids tuition.
Exactly.
I want
Not just 30 cents a month. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's coming. It's coming, and it's pretty close.
Well, I'm glad it's on a slide. That was my a little bit of my question for today that I was going to have was, are they going to put it back on a slide?
Right. So it's back on the slide, and by the
Great.
way, and by the way, that kind of assures you that it's getting closer. It wouldn't be on the slide if it wasn't getting closer.
Well, I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it because I was thinking, how am I going to give this presentation? And the people that are just like, I don't want to store, and I don't want to, they might say, I don't want to double my earning power. That's a good thing, but it still wasn't enough to get me out of retirement.
No, absolutely. I completely get it, Kansas. What we bargained for, in my estimation, is by and large available, by and large, not entirely, but I promise you it will be. And the days are coming sooner than later. And I also want you all to know, if your risk and reward parameters, if your personality, if all of who you are, it feels better for you to wait for the company to cross over another bridge, wait. Don't do a darn thing that's uncomfortable. Do what feels right to you. Don't do a single thing that doesn't feel right to you. Now, that being said, I want you to know that my financial outcomes are not because I've been one who's waited until it felt right for the masses.
Right.
The amount of financial success I've had in my life is because I've been able to identify opportunity a fleeting instant before other people identified it. Not a long time before.
Can I give you a confession?
Yeah.
I took this off when I sent you the text message, but I was saying, come and get trained and learn how to build your business from Randy $45 million Schroeder.
There you go.
Yeah, I took that off when I sent him the text message, but I had to make sure that they knew what they were coming to see.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad you did. And folks, understand that financial result that was just referenced, that has not happened because I joined a single company that was operating well when I joined it. That's not what I've done. My career has been about identifying great ideas that are not properly executed. Some people, we all have different gifts, right? God, he chooses to dispense these gifts however he chooses. One of my gifts is I'm not the great idea guy. I can't look back at my life and say, look at this great idea that I had and look how it's impacted humanity. What I can do is I can look at my life and I can say, I have been able to help people who had great ideas monetize them. They had a great idea, but they did not turn it into money. What I know how to do is help people who have great ideas turn it into money for themselves and for other people. This is perhaps in my life the greatest idea that I've come across. And it's as poor an execution as I've come across. That screams opportunity to me. That's it. A great idea with horrible execution, that makes money. And so What I've been
That's
working
the formula.
that is the formula. And if you can see opportunity a second before the masses see it, that's where the money is. And
Right,
I
because
tell
the
people,
masses are going to see it. If somebody decides that they're comfortable with waiting, the masses are seeing it all while we're waiting. So for me, I just need to see how I can continue because that's what I want to do. That's why I brought people on this call. Like we need to make a game plan and bring Randy back in to our area because everyone on this call lives in this area. So we want to bring together an event, a training leadership event where we also can, have a presentation so that we can bring the people that we're getting to see on Zoom into a real live room. And Randy said he's going to be coming down for that. So we don't
so
want
let me just give you guys a lob this ball across your net. And then unfortunately I've got to Zoom. I'm going to Sacramento this week, but I've made a commitment with the host to do what we did his first 6 weeks. In his first 6 weeks after he joined Transact Card, I went to Sacramento 5 out of 6 weeks.
Wow.
And 5 out of 6 weeks later, Rick was a vice president and he had 4 vice presidents in his group. That's what happened because I went there week after week after week after week. What I do, folks, it works. And it's not because it's me, it's because there is a process, a pattern, and the pattern works. But the hit and run routine that most people have, they flop in and see somebody once every 6 months and think that's going to do it. That has never made me a nickel. What makes me successful is identifying people of goodwill and intent who want more and who are willing to do more to get more. And then making a significant commitment of time in a short period, compressed to get the income wheel turning. And once the income wheel is turning, then all of a sudden you know enough. If I could snap my fingers right now and you knew 95% of what I know about network marketing, and somebody said, sounds good, how's it working for you? Well, I'm making nothing. You don't know enough. If on the other hand, 5% of what I know, somebody says, well, sounds kind of good, how's it working for you? I can't even tell you for sure how it works, but I made $4,500 last month. It was my 3rd month in. You know plenty. It is all about getting the income wheel turning. When the income wheel turns, people call you. When the income wheel doesn't turn, you have to call them.
Right.
And so I'm just the most practical person you could possibly imagine. I choose to invest time where I find people of goodwill and intent who want more and who are willing to do more and who are willing, notwithstanding their various challenges. You see, this only happens if we get to know one another. Anyone who knows me, they know that I would never suggest a single thing that I don't believe would be of benefit to you if they know me. But how are they going to know me if all we do is talk on Zoom once in a while? They're not. So the reason that one of my best groups in this company right now is in Sacramento is because I went there 5 weeks out of 6. And you know what? I'm scheduled to go there 5 out of the next 6 weeks.
Okay, well, we need to get on your schedule for 5 weeks because we have about 7 or 6. We have 7 people on this call that have stayed up late to come, and that if we lock arms, and these people are in this same area, if we just lock arms and we get Randy to come here like 5-6 weeks in a row, and we put a system into motion, we're going to gain the momentum so that people can get paid and the income wheel can turn. So I'm excited about that. And so our first one that we had scheduled you for was March 23rd. My thinking in doing that was because there's a leadership meeting here on March 11th. So I was thinking we could do Zooms, maybe meet there, see how they're doing it, or not to try to do what they do, but just to see a live meeting and then come back and keep working and bring you in. But if you want to change, do you think we should change that around a little bit and just start working house to house every week?
We'll need to communicate with Samantha to find out what the first week is that I can come, because I need to fit onto my calendar. Might be 2 weeks from now, might be 3 weeks, but the whole key is that it's steadily and consistent. Bang, 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 bang. But it's not a long time away. Again, this coming week, I'm gone all week long. And you guys know the way that it is with me. I've got a family, right? And so I try not to travel.
Yeah.
So I try not to travel 2 weeks in a row. So this coming week, I'm gone all week. The next week, I'm home. So probably that week of March 23rd is that's probably not a bad starting point. But I don't know. I'll check. But I'll look.
Yeah, I think you sent it to Samantha, and I hope that she put it on there because I already been telling people. But the thing is, my goal for March was like, let's get everybody at least to manager, because I think it's a reason, like some kind of bonuses out there that people can help them, a little bit as we continue on in our business.
Correct.
And then we can start to get people to senior manager. And were you going to be able to share with us how to I mean, that part of the slide, or did you say you need to leave?
Which part of the slide? Which?
The one above where it says, how do you how do you get promoted? Like, yeah, this one.
Oh, real simple, same as before. Nothing's changed. You know, the
So
way
it's
to
still 12 people to senior manager then?
correct.
Okay. Because we want to get everybody to senior manager, and 5 of those kind of creates a.
Right. And remember what I talked about, that community, the founders bonus pool, same
Mhm.
thing. We know the total number of people who will be managers who can participate, senior managers, that pool becomes worth a lot more money. There is a lot to be optimistic and confident about right now, like a lot.
Okay.
And the truth is that the only reason for negative thoughts right now is the carrying around of useless baggage. You know, and one of the pictures that I draw frequently on the whiteboard is I draw a picture, a stick figure, and it's me, and my hands are loaded up with what? Useless
Bag.
baggage.
Mhm.
Until I become willing to drop the useless baggage, that I can't pick up useful baggage. There is nothing more useless than talking about what we don't have. There's something
Right.
very useful about talking about what we do have. And there's something very useful about illustrating how what we do have is in almost every way better than what was initially proposed. It is.
Yes.
In just about every way, it is better than what was initially proposed. I apologize. I have a little boy, and I always try to spend my last hour in the evening with him before he goes to bed, and I'm going to go do that. So,
All
everybody,
right.
please know my sum total objective is to help you succeed. That is it. I don't have another agenda. There's not another initiative. And so, anything I can do to help each of you individually and as a group, I want to. And Candace, I'll turn it over to you. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much. And I want to thank you all for being here. Thanks, Randy. I want to thank you all for coming. I know you still had questions, but definitely, if you still have a question, I'm right here. We can ask it together. Anyone do have a question, feel free to go ahead and speak up right now. And I can tell you what I know.
Yeah, yeah. What I was hoping to hear Randy address, and perhaps you can. So on his trainings, he's given a lot of that information, and I've been really diligent about his trainings. What I wanted was something very practical in terms of the activities, to bring people in based on what we have available today. That's
Mhm.
what I was hoping to get tonight.
Okay. Mhm.
What is the conversation? I really don't want to talk about what's coming. What is the
Exactly.
conversation? From an inviting standpoint, what is how in terms of the identification of persons? He talks a lot about cultivating long-term relationships. That will happen over time, listening to people talk about their needs,
Mhm.
and reaching back to them. As he told us, that's like a 4 or 5 month process. But in terms of today, you're wanting us to you're wanting to help us to get people in, um, so that we can invite them to join us when Randy comes to town. So that's a lot of prep work we have to do, and then we're wanting to do this during the week of Lent, which is a real challenging time, I know, for me.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to figure out what are the activities that I must engage in between now, in the next 2 weeks, in order to start to have this pipeline.
Okay,
And,
great questions.
yeah, that's what I'm really asking Candace.
Okay, great questions. And so I'm going to just go over real quickly. So I'm still planning to be here on today is Friday, but Tuesday and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. And I'm still planning to do that during this month. That's going to kind of start up now because, like you said, I really want to make sure that we have Flourish in place. And he said that's March 15th. So I'm even looking at, should we just start now or wait until we can show someone that it's up and running? But we're going to bring them in just like we were before. One of the strategies that Randy talked about in one of his trainings, and I think he's redoing all of his trainings now to incorporate it, incorporate the Flourish terminology, is that he says that he, sends out every morning 6 text messages, and he just goes about his day and, does his other jobs, and eventually they come trickling in. I've seen that where people will call you later. So in building those relationships, you're sending out a text message and you're waiting to see who's going to respond, and you're not like bombarding people. So that just takes a level of training. But the way that I do it is I like to do it at night, you know, when I've done everything else and I'm kind of relaxing, and just schedule it so that it automatically goes out at the right time the next day. Because once my morning gets going, it's going. But, you know, if you sit down and you think about even 3 to 6 people, even if it's just one person that you send it to every day, you are doing the business. But the reason 6 is his, you know, magic number, if there's a such thing as that, is that he said he always gets at least 1 or more responses when he does it that way. So that's what he does. He has a, you know, that's part of his, you know, regimen, is sending out 6 text messages early in the morning, and then people will eventually, I think you've heard that training if that's what you're referencing. And so I think that in this day and age, people are so used to text messages, so much more used to them than when I first started in this industry, that it's just so normal to say, you know, hey, have you got a moment to see this thing? You wouldn't say what I just said, but, you know, have you got a moment? Do you want to, we collaborate and discuss some, you know, new things on the horizon? Because of the fact that they put the debit card back on the slides, I don't think that, you know, we're saying anything different. I'm not saying we're going to promote that only, but in case they need an extra reason, this is something that you want to be engaged in way before it gets popular. So, you know, if we're looking for, you know, something like a push to listen, hear this information now and get yourself into position, I think that's a great one. And the other products that we have, as you heard Randy discuss them, you know, we're going to be discussing them. But for me, until I see something bigger and better, I think that's the main value proposition for me, is to talk about those other products, but then also say, you know, this is what you're signing up for. You want to get into a position now, because as we're building this business, as soon as they turn that switch on, then that's all the swiping income that's going to be coming your way. But if you wait and say, well, I'm going to do it when it's here, once it gets here, I don't want to talk about it, I'm just going to do it when it's here, then you start from that point and you start to build from that point, where it could be, you know, a lot of money that you left on the table from not moving forward and saying, look, this is something great. This is business. This is getting positioned now. And it's going to be coming. I think if they put it, like he said, if they put it on the slide, it's going to be coming soon. So I might be just, you know, talking about something that we're not going to ever have to talk about again. But for me, that is what I was looking at. I was looking at, it's always great products. Like he even mentioned this employee savings plan, you know, through us, you get it for 35% cheaper. It's great. You can tell people all the great things about it, but if they're not in the market for that, then, you know, one of the things that you're going to face, or that we're all going to face, is that they're going to say, not right now, I'm busy, or not right now, it's not in my list of, you know, my critical path of what I'm trying to do. So I think our message doesn't change from even when we started. Like we say, we're going to show you all these great things. We're going to show you how you can double your buying power. It just doesn't change. But we also want to show you how to position yourself for when this next flow of income comes our way. And we want to be in the middle of that wave when it comes, you know. So we'll just have to put the right strategies around it. I spoke with John McCullough, which is the president of Finmore. And he even mentioned that, you know, he said, you know, they're going to be doing the one pager that they did before to help people stay on track. But they're also, you know, I mentioned to him, like, you know, put together one page of different, you know, text message kind of, or something you can call someone and quickly invite them or engage their interest, get them curious about hearing more. And so people need guidance, I think, in that way. And that does take time. It takes time. It takes training. We have the self-development training. One of the things he mentioned that was really great with the self-development training is that they have a personality test. Now, you can't give your prospects a personality test, but they train you on, this is something, if you guys remember from 5 Links, I used to train on this, that they train you on recognizing the different personalities, so you know how to approach people so that it makes sense to them, that they should, you know, give it more thought and be open to listening to it. So those are just skills that will develop over time. And so I'm glad that they have that piece in there. But I definitely wouldn't think that this is something that you can go and you can, but it's not, you know, you can't go to someone when they're looking at, you know, following the path that they set out for themselves and interrupt that by saying, do you want to sell these other products and make money off of it? You know, Usually that's doesn't speak to people more than saying, keep doing what you're doing, but this is a place where you can position yourself for another payday that's coming, and everybody's going to be having to do this anyway. You're doing it anyway. Let's look at it and see how, we can help you. So they're going to look at all the products and think they're great, as they start using them. But I don't see convincing someone to do that up front just to sign up for that reason. So we got to share it with them, but also we got to talk about the vision of what's coming too. It just has to be a part of the conversation. Until it actually comes, we should still continue to work. So my vision in doing that is we continue, just like right now, try to keep the calls down to like maybe 45 minutes, but we continue getting used to coming here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's like our due diligence. If we can, buy into that. And, I know it's late, but, come here, we'll be learning the presentations. If people don't have guests, that's a great time for us to practice the presentation, because, that's another way to make money, is to learn the presentation, learn to deliver it as well as, when people come on. Once we're used to coming here ourselves, then we're going to automatically, flow people here. And then, there'll be times they'll see it here first, and then we'll get them on the phone with someone else, which Randy, if Randy's not available, because he's all over the place, we will be the people. We're the people that will be the leaders in this organization that are, that we can go to. We can go to each other, and we can, once we learn the way that it's done, and we do it the way, like even what Randy said, he's willing to come here 5 weeks in a row or 6 weeks in a row. If we all are engaged and we're all bringing people to those 5 meetings, then we're all going to grow. And we're going to be learning in the process, learning his process for doing it, but also, the strategy that I do know for a fact that people need to see it multiple times. So whether they see it with us, and then after they see that, they can go see it on the corporate, they can talk to Randy, then it'll start to make more sense. Whether they talk to Randy or not, that's what we have to get to. We have to get to whether they talk to Randy or not. But I think what he mentioned tonight, and he's planning to be here on the 23rd of March. We don't want to wait until that comes, but we want to just come here, invite people. So what I'm willing to work on is that invite sheet of paper where I can, invite document that I'm going to create, and just put everything on there, all the different types of invites, and I'll just send that out. And then you can just decide what text messages you want to create off of that document. And I would get my list of people together at that point. And then if they can't come to the Tuesday or the Thursday, then of course I do have the meet.eagleempowerment.com, where you can go and you make your own one-on-one meeting. So what we don't want to do is try to explain this to our own people. It just doesn't work well. But eventually we'll be able to use each other and talk to each other, and we can explain it to each other's people, as well as bringing Randy in. So if we do that, I guarantee if we decide to get people on here every Tuesday and Thursday, and we just say we're going to get at least one person each on here every Tuesday and Thursday, by the time Randy comes, we will be all getting promoted to the next level. Pretty soon we'll be senior manager, VP, the executive. We'll go through all of the different, steps. And so everybody will win. And it's not just about, making money, but it's about really positioning yourself, because when that debit card comes out, that's something that can go everywhere. Even the all cards actually, they were talking about, it can go global. So it's really, the opportunity is way better, because we couldn't go global before with just the debit card. Now that we have the all cards, we can actually go global with that. And you guys heard Randy tonight saying that if once we get on the all cards, which he said is going to launch by the 15th, then all cards is included. So you can either sign up now for $2.49, but you won't be paying that once you get started on the Flourish. I would definitely get the Flourish, because that makes you commissionable to get paid and qualified, and you don't have to worry about anything else. So as we go and we share the information, some people will want to become FMs or customers. That used to be the old TCM. But once we get 20 of those, then it's no more that we have to continue. We'll be just qualified while those people are, enjoying everything in the stores and doubling their buying power. So that's one thing, but you don't want to try to build up to that. You want to just go in, get your Flourish accounts going, which is $50 a month. It's just the cost of doing business, as Randy explained. And then as we go, you can scale back on that once you get 20 FMs if you so decide. Okay, so I hope that was a long explanation for Sylvia's question, but I'm just, just talking about it right now. I know that what we need to do is really create a list and hit the ground, just sending out, to me, text messages that works. Some of them convert. They don't always, you might not hear anything right away when you do it, but people will get back to you. And so we don't want to harass people. We don't want to keep sending the same people things, but every day in the evening, I have an alarm set. It goes off at like 10:30. And that's when I sit down and make my list for what I'm going to do the next day. And that's on my list, 10 things to do before 10 o'clock, so once you get your regimen down and you say, okay, I'm going to send it out to whether it's you 6 people or whether you're sending it to 3 people, you put their names down, you know what you're going to send them. I go ahead and create the text messages and put it on the schedule so it can send itself out. So I'm done with my work for the next day. All I have to do is respond to when someone gets back to me, and then I get them on to, the Tuesday or the Thursday. And so I'm ready to get back in the flow. It just took time for us to gather our thoughts and understand, what it is. So I want to invite all of you to come back here on Tuesday at 9, because and try to get people on. If people don't come on, it still benefits us to come, because we're going to actually see the presentation. We're going to learn the presentation together. We can go over the training. I can't give a quick training right now on it all, but we can pinpoint things that will make us all better, and we can prepare for it when Randy's going to come live on the 23rd, and we can start to give each other ideas that's working for us. So I think it's great. Anybody have, Richard, your hand is still up. Did you have something else?
No, I didn't. I didn't realize it was still up.
Okay. I didn't want to rumble on like that, but I know that we were on quite a long time with Randy, which was really great. But I just wanted to let you guys know we do have a plan, we have a vision. And the main thing we need to do right now is just start making our list. I know that you've been coming across so many people that you're saying, okay, I got to tell them about it, but I'm waiting for it to, settle down so I can know exactly what to say, to them. So start getting the list ready. I would put all of the high profile people that are used to making a lot of money in one list, like you make 3 columns and put them in one column. And then the people that make about the same, your peers, the people that make about the same amount of income as you, or you guys live in the same type of home or environment or anything like that, put them in the middle column. And then the people that looked up to you and you're probably their mentor and you want to help them out, put them in the last column. And then we'll go from there. And it's no limit to how many people you can put on this list, but you got to get the list started, because that's pretty much our working capital in our business. In the business like this, the working capital is going to be that list of people. And then we can start to, and I'm going to work on the invitation scripts. And you can definitely tweak them, but they're configured in a way that they convert to someone saying, I'm open and curious. And so that takes a little time for us to start learning that, which we will start doing. But I'm just going to create some that you can choose from, and you can tweak them with your people's names, and you can decide to send them. Or like I said, schedule the text message so it makes your life easier. Schedule it in the evening, schedule it to send it to them. And the key times where people really answer text message or look at them is 8:15 in the morning and 2:15 in the afternoon. So it's things like that we have been reverse engineered for this type of industry, where you want to send it to them, so schedule it for a certain time. So when people are like coming back from lunch, or they're just, checking their phone or checking their emails during the day, if they're at work, they'll see it ping, and they'll check it, and then they'll get back to you, if it interests them. And so we'll just go from there. And we have to get to the point where we're not so bought into whether the people do it or not, but we just want to show them. It's a win when we get someone to actually sit down and look at it. That's all we want to get good at, is inviting someone and they actually come. We don't want to pressure anybody to do anything. That's not what this is about. It's just about becoming professional inviters, and then we've done our job, and then we'll go from there. What is the rest of the follow-ups that we got to do? Okay, so Thank you all for coming and staying over. And this is going to be huge. I'm excited again. I mean, it's not that I wasn't excited, but I just wanted to make sure that people were going to be getting exactly what I showed them. And we're even actually getting more. And I'm glad that you all came. Anybody have any other questions? No? Okay. All right. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, jot them down. Let's talk. If you have any questions about anything I said, let's talk. I'm always available. I'm available 100%. And I will be here Tuesday. So, okay. So let's, I'm sure it's people that you know. All right. All right. So good night. God bless.